Yo, what's going on, guys? LightningMan26 here. Today, I'm going to be doing a video that I've wanted to do for a long time. That is basically compare a real Reebok jersey and a fake Reebok jersey. I've had my fake jersey for a long time. I got it off eBay. I don't collect fake jerseys. I got scammed, or not scammed. I was just stupid and couldn't really tell the difference. I got it off eBay, but now that I got a legit one, it's time to compare them to help you guys when you're shopping for jerseys. Because listen, if you have a fake jersey and you want to wear it, fine, right? If you enjoy collecting fake jerseys, fine. If you have a real jersey and you want to wear it, you're like me, you can't have any fake jerseys, that's fine. But if you have what you think is a fake jersey, or what you think is a real jersey and it's not, then we have a problem. And this is where I'm trying to help. So I'm going to go over most of the differences. There are a couple things you want to look for when it comes to a fake jersey, especially Reebok. So you want to look at the logo, of course, any numbers, if they have them, the NHL shield, the Reebok logo, and the fight strap. So we're just going to get right into this. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope this really helps. Alright, so we're going to get right into the comparison. So this is my real Reebok. This is the New York Rangers alternate from the early 2010s. And this is the fake one. You could see same jersey. And yeah, so let's just get right into the difference. So we're going to start we're going to start at the top with the neck. So on the real jersey, this might be kind of hard to tell, like, unless you see it like in person. So the actual neck itself is like a really smooth, it's almost like an Under Armour type fabric. Whereas on the fake jersey, it's a lot thicker, and if I zoom in, if it focuses, you can see it's got a bit of a sweater texture. You can see right there. And on this, it doesn't have that. It's more of a smooth texture. You could see this little Reebok lining on the real jersey. It's like that gray color, and there's also a Reebok patch with the sizing. You can see size medium, made in Indonesia, Reebok. It's got that tag. Now, if we move over to the fake jersey, you could see it's black with like a faded Reebok logo behind the actual Reebok logo, and then this tag is a lot different. You could see it's black instead of silver. It's got the CCM. Then this is another big tell. This is another big tell, made in Canada. Now, I know what some people are going to say. Well, the on-ice jerseys were made in Canada, so that doesn't really mean it's fake. It does, because the on-ice jerseys were not made available by Reebok. And the one last thing I want to talk about when it comes to the neck is this right here. The established 1926 thing. On this jersey, I'm not going to focus on that because you'll notice on the other one there's like the striping underneath this, but I'm just going to focus on the text. On the fake, you can see if I can really zoom in, it's stitched. It wants to focus. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you could see it's stitched on there. That is not what it looks like. If we come over to the real one, this is going to be really hard to show. You're going to have to feel it in person. Adidas kind of does this. It really started in Reebok. This text back here is more of like it's like that sort of like rubberized texture that you'd see, like I said, on some Adidas jerseys. While it's not stitched. The laces are also a big tell. You could see on the home or on the real jersey, the laces are more of a cream color and they're a lot smaller. And the NHL logo is fabric and it looks really nice. And you could see it's actually its own patch sewn onto the jersey. Now, if we move over to the Reebok or the fake, you could see this is a lot thicker. The laces are a lot thicker. It feels a lot like a shoelace. And one thing I also like to notice is the NHL logo sits lower on the fake. It sits behind the laces, while on the real one, if we go back, it's up here above the laces. The NHL logo itself is also stitched. It's also fabric, but the stitching job is terrible. And if we flip it over, it's not its own patch. It's not a patch sewn onto the jersey. Everything, basically what they do is they faux stitch everything onto, like, whatever. Basically everything is stitched onto this white piece of fabric at the background, and then instead of that being stitched, like sewn into this part, it's just heat pressed on. Now if we look at the main logo, and then I'm going to flip the jersey over and show you the back. So you can see the main logo, it's again stitched, yeah, but it, like, the stitching is very, very, very tight, and also if I could do this properly, you might not be, if I flip the jersey, you probably can't see that, can't see this because it's like very, yeah, like that. You can start to see the letters. You see how they're stitched onto the jersey? That is not how it, and with the numbers too. That is completely incorrect. If we come over to the real jersey, you could see they faux stitched this. You see they stitched the red part onto this cream. The cream part is also thicker. And I forgot to mention the laces on the fake one are white instead of the cream. So yeah, the cream is thicker. The stitching looks like looser, actually. Not in a bad way. It just has a bit more breathing room. Then if I were to do this, you can see to where the letters would be. It's just heat pressed onto the jersey. It's not stitched onto the jersey. So that's the biggest thing so that's one of the biggest things to look for when it comes to the logo. At least on this jersey. On some jerseys, it'll be, it will be heat pressed onto the jersey, but the jersey will be, or not the jersey, the logo will, like, it'll be bubbling, and that's not what you want. If your logo is bubbling, or there's, like, super easy folds in it, it's probably fake. A Reebok jersey shouldn't fold like that. Now, we're gonna flip the jerseys around. One of them actually has a number, but we're gonna flip the jersey, and we're gonna show you what I was talking about with the Reebok logos. So very similar to the NHL logo. On the fake jersey, you could see it's stitched onto, you can see this pizza, This piece of fabric here, kind of, you can see this line here. There we go. Now you can really see it. And then that is stitched directly behind this tag. That should not be on the real jersey. If we go to the real jersey, actually, and we flip it, sorry if you're not seeing, you could see here that, now granted it's not the same logo because they're from different eras. That doesn't mean that like this one is like that the players didn't use that text logo. It's just from a different era. You could see right there, it's sewn on, it's its own patch sewn onto the jersey. Actually, no, it is sewn directly onto the jersey. Okay, some jerseys, especially on the like Adidas ones, it'll be its own patch sewn onto the jersey, and that'll just be like heat pressed. They are both stitched in, but this just looks much cleaner, the stitching on the real jerseys. So that's another thing to look for. Now, the most obvious thing to look for, and I want to clear up something here because, oh, another thing. The real ones, on the left arm, they'll have the Reebok logo on it, and they'll also have this Reebok patch on the bottom left of the jersey. If we go to the fake jersey, see, it doesn't have that like Reebok text, and there's no Reebok patch, if you could see. And again, there's no... Yeah. Now, I want to clear up a misconception here with this last point. There's a common misconception in the hockey. It's the last thing I want to talk about, the fight strap. There's a common misconception in the hockey world that if a jersey has a fight strap, it must be real. That couldn't be farther from the truth, because not all fight straps are made the same. On this jersey, which is a fake, you could see it looks very similar to like the Adidas ones, the Adidas fight straps. You got the one snappy and the two snappy, but they're so far apart. If I go to like an Adidas fight strap, you could see how close the two snappies are on the fight strap. Then I go back to this, they're very far away. Then this stitching job is just garbage. This is gonna fall off. And also, I've never had a jersey that's like, I've never had a stitched jersey where like Adidas, where the number goes over the fight strap. I've never seen that. So that could also mean... And then lastly, the fight strap itself, we know the position is probably bad. The stitching job that's holding it on the jersey is bad. But this, the fight strap itself is another huge tell. On the real ones, not like the real, like what I'm showing you, like the real ones, the authentic ones, the fight strap, it's double stitch and it won't go anywhere. On the fake here, the fight strap, you'll see if I can do this, it's very like, there you go. Yeah, it's very like, hold on, like, how am I gonna do this? How can I like properly show you? Yeah, it's pretty stretchy, you understand. Now on the real jersey, you'll see, if we can find the bottom of the jersey and we flip it, it doesn't have a fight strap. Now, I actually just noticed another thing. This is going to be hard to tell unless you're like really into jerseys. This here, you can see the solid red. That's what you want. That's because the teal striping, it's not, or this, it's not put on the same level. It's put, as you can see, it's put on top of the red. Whereas if we go over here, you could see the red is its own thing, and the teal, or I keep saying teal, the tan is its own thing. That should not be that. So, yeah, so those are just some of the things you're looking for when you are looking to buy jersey. Some of the main differences between a real and a fake jersey. I hope this helped. Feel free to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you in the next video.